Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. If you think I've got a bloodshot eye, it's because I had a fly in it and I thought I was almost going to have to take my eye out this morning. But I have had my eyes on the Chelsea news and we have got a few stories to fly through today. I didn't plan that one, I promise. It just came to my head right now. So if you do like absolutely atrocious banter, then make sure you are subscribed to the George Benson Football Channel because we're crawling, but we're getting there slowly, to 250,000, 250,000 subscribers. And rumour has it, if you hit the like button because you enjoy the video, hopefully you do, then it also helps YouTube spread the word to more Chelsea fans like you and I. Today we are going to be talking Atletico Madrid's redonkulous asking price for João Félix in the summer. I think it's absolute nonsense, but we're going to entertain it anyway. Aubameyang to Los Angeles FC. Let's speed that one up a little bit, please. Goalkeeping decisions to be made about Chelsea's #1 goalkeeper. And you remember Diogo Costa? We loved him, didn't we? I wonder about Diogo Costa. We're going to talk him today. We're also going to talk N'Golo Kante contract talks, the likelihood of Chelsea adding a traditional striker in the summer, and Sofyan Amrabat and how we went for him on deadline day. I'm actually going to begin with this story here today. Fabrizio Romano reported that Chelsea were indeed interested in Sofyan Amrabat on transfer deadline day. Obviously with the chaotic nature of how we were absolutely going gung-ho for Enzo Fernandez, who lo and behold became a Chelsea player, and we get to see him on Saturday. Stay tuned for the GBFC live stream watch along. Chelsea went for Sofyan Amrabat, and a lot of people wondered if this was in addition to Enzo Fernandez or if it was just in case the Enzo Fernandez deal collapsed and didn't go through, which was relatively likely despite the persistence of both Todd Boehly and Behdad Eghbali, but Chelsea got the deal done. I want to ask you guys a question here because I've been watching a lot of Premier League football this season, and one player who I think arguably makes it quite easily, in my opinion, into the top 10 players in the league this season is Palhinha from Fulham. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal footballer. And in comparison to Sofyan Amrabat, I think Palhinha is 100% a midfielder with the DNA makeup that Chelsea desperately need as a partner for Enzo Fernandez in the midfield. We've been talking a lot in the last few videos about Enzo Fernandez needs someone who can be a brick wall in front of the defence to enable him to be more progressive, more fluid in an attacking creative sense, because that is really where his best skill set lies. Now Palhinha, in my opinion, would be Chelsea's long-awaited replacement for Nemanja Matic. When we remember Nemanja Matic in his prime, he was a brick wall. Nothing would go past him. He also had that wand of a left foot that would just bend and arch around and he'd be able to spread passes left, right and centre. But lo and behold, no one got past him. He was an absolute machine in the middle, and I think maybe a player like Amrabat, little bit too much going forward, and we need to strike a balance between letting Enzo go and asking Enzo to do more defensive work. And I think someone like Palhinha from Fulham, I know again we're talking about half a season, but the man has got some serious fight and passion as well. When you saw him at Stamford Bridge the other day, absolutely nothing got by him. He's a phenomenal footballer. I think between him and Enzo in the middle, there is an attitude there, a charisma that I think Chelsea need to start building around that kind of energy of player. Someone who is willing to fight for every ball, who will jump in for a slide tackle, win it back and start Chelsea moving forward. So Sofyan Amrabat went for him on deadline day, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Would you be excited about Chelsea pursuing Palhinha? I think if we compare to Declan Rice, we could be talking significantly lower fee. Would he want to leave Fulham? They're currently ahead of us in the table, but it's the Chelsea project, you know? There's something special about this Chelsea project. One man who we would absolutely love to see continue at Chelsea Football Club, not João Félix just yet, we're going to talk about that story in a moment, N'Golo Kante. Talks with N'Golo Kante have been progressing nicely. I mean, I don't know about you lot, but after a while, I get tired of hearing all of these contract talk stories that we hear. Mason Mount, negotiations have stalled. We hear this every single day as if it's breaking news. No, Chelsea are just trying to get Mason Mount to sign a new deal within the new structure of wages, of how we're giving them out to players at the club. With N'Golo Kante, I think it's maybe a bit more simple than Mason Mount, because with Mount we're talking multiple years. He probably will want like a 5-year deal. And with N'Golo Kante, it's about, is it 1? Is it 2? N'Golo's probably going to be looking at his injuries, at the age in which he's at now in his career, and he's thinking, how many sign-on fees could I get? How many more long contracts could I get? And I think it's important that Chelsea tie N'Golo Kante down to a new deal. If we can try and offer him a 2-year deal, I think that would be absolutely best for everybody, because the injury trajectory doesn't look good for N'Golo Kante. He's been getting injured more and more often, but on his day, I still think a pivot with Enzo Fernandez just fills me with joy, just at the simple thought of what it could be. Quick question, are you subscribed yet? I asked you at the start of the video, just randomly wanted to throw it in there again for you guys now. Hit the button. I want to hit 250,000. It just sounds delicious. We move into Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is reportedly in talks. This just drains my energy. Aubameyang is in talks to sign for Los Angeles FC. Gonna keep this one very, very short and sweet. If Aubameyang is peed off that he doesn't make it into the Champions League squad, I get it, but we don't need that energy around the club right now. Otherwise, Pierre, you're gonna feel the wrath of Gilbert Enoka. I posted a YouTube Shorts about this yesterday. Chelsea have employed a brand new mental coach, and what this is supposed to do, it's to help players learn the best way to dissolve their egos, to become part of a team and make sure that cohesively, as a unit, players are playing for one another, playing for the system, and it's all about trying to remove negative energy and selfishness amongst players. Gilbert Enoka has worked for the All Blacks in New Zealand. I've basically just repeated everything I've said in my Shorts video, but Aubameyang, to me, sounds like one of those players who could be a bad egg, potentially, in the dressing room as a result of the fallout of being left out. So, Los Angeles FC, that bloody bike in the car park again, get the job done, will you please? The next story is regarding the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea Football Club. Right now, it's an exciting time to be Chelsea when it comes to the goalkeeping position. You got Marcus Bettinelli bringing the vibes to the club. You got Edouard Mendy, Champions League winner, phenomenal goalkeeper on his day, as a number 2, but he's out injured. You got Kepa Arrizabalaga. Let's be honest, Kepa Arrizabalaga has had a wonderful season. In terms of save percentage, I think he's the top ranked goalkeeper in the league, with 83% of shots that he's faced, he's actually managed to save. The reports are that at the moment, Chelsea are unsure about who the number 1 is going to be at the club. And I think with Gabriel Slonina coming up as a good quality young goalkeeper, obviously, he's only 18 years old, so I think maybe a year and a half, 2.5 years from now, we might see him closer and closer to first team action. He's currently training with the first team squad. However, Diogo Costa from Porto, very, very good goalkeeper. The rumours are coming in that Chelsea could well be interested in Diogo Costa. Sounds like Diogo Costa, so just even for that silly reason, I'm sold by the transfer. No, in all seriousness, I've seen the goalkeeper play. Very decent goalkeeper, good with his feet, good shot stopper, good all round. But again, we have to sort out what's going on with either Kepa or Mendy. And I think if Kepa keeps going with this form, I think both goalkeepers, Chelsea could command a decent fee. Not quite bringing back the 80 million euros that we managed to get for Kepa. But right now, I want to give Kepa the benefit of the doubt. Credit where credit is due. He deserves his spot as Chelsea's number 1 at this moment in time. We're going to now talk a little bit, the two stories with João Félix and the ridiculous Atletico Madrid demands. We're going to talk about that. But Chelsea will probably be in the market this summer for a traditional number 9. Now, Ivan Toney is a player that you guys have spoken about a lot here in the comments section of both the live streams here on GBFC and in the news videos where we discuss Chelsea potentially being interested in Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney is currently under investigation for potential gambling, things that he's done regarding betting on certain games he might be involved in. Basically, long story short, players aren't really allowed to gamble. There is too much at stake, literally, for them. Oh my word, this is a dreadful video for jokes, isn't it? But there's too much at stake, really, in terms of like match fixing and all that nonsense. So depending on the outcome, could depend on whether or not Chelsea get involved with Ivan Toney. I think Ivan Toney is a brilliant player. I think if Chelsea were to play with 2 inside forwards, which we could see if we sign João Félix with Christopher Nkunku, Mudryk is available for that position as well, you could say. So I think Ivan Toney would be a great striker. There's also still talks about Victor Osimhen, but I'm going to try and taper those back because you guys know I absolutely love Osimhen. But until there is any concrete interest and approach from Chelsea, I'm going to refrain from talking about him more on GBFC. So the debate with this comes. People always say to me, like, Benson, do you remember that we've got Nkunku coming through in the summer? Christopher Nkunku has come out himself and said that he's better playing out wide. So when I hear this, João Félix as well, this is where things get really confusing for me for Chelsea, because traditional number 9s, they're not shadow strikers, they're not second strikers. João Félix plays better as a second striker, and Nkunku plays better as a winger, inverted forward, whatever. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, Chelsea don't really have any striking options. So João Félix, apparently Atletico Madrid really want him to succeed at Chelsea in the second half of this season because they think that Chelsea would then go and spend the 140 million bloody euros that Atletico Madrid have put as his asking price. To me, this is absolutely ludicrous money. They're talking about the same kind of figure that they bought João Félix from Benfica for a couple of years ago. And without being funny, João Félix has not set the world on fire. He did set the world on fire at Fulham and then burnt to the ground and got himself sent off. We'll see how he plays this weekend because I'm 100% sure he starts against West Ham. He better do. But 140 million, yes, we're talking about a player who is still within that word of potential. On his day, absolutely fantastic. He's got the X factor, which is an old school phrase that's been thrown around about footballers in the past. But 140 million is bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And I think Chelsea could go out there and get a traditional number 9, a world-class one in Victor Osimhen, for around the same price. I really want João Félix to stay at the club, but if it's 140 million, maybe because we don't really have those out-and-out number 9s. We've got too many, likes it out wide, likes it as the second striker kind of players, likes it as a number 10, Kai Havertz is. If it's 140 million, I'd be out. I'm absolutely not kidding you, but the final caveat that I want to add into this, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Diego Simeone is going to be leaving Atletico in the summer. Romelu Lukaku to Atletico Madrid as a make-weight as part of the deal for João Félix. Chelsea, get this one done. If we somehow manage to sign a Victor Osimhen or an Ivan Toney and get Felix through the door, with Nkunku joining in the summer, it's arguably the most formidable attack in the Premier League. Chelsea, absolutely, go all out there, bust your balls, get it done. This wraps up today's Chelsea news video. I want to say a massive thank you for all the love and support. It's been a weird week because after all the excitement of the transfer window, Chelsea fans are back to going nuts on Twitter. I did a live stream last night with Eunice talking about, is Graham Potter the right man? Because I'm hearing so often still, Potter out, Potter's the problem. Either later on today or tomorrow, there will be a video where I react to all of your problems as Chelsea fans right now with the club. It's an interesting one to dive into. Stay tuned, get the bell notifications turned on, hit the like button if you enjoyed the news today. Come on, you Blues.